In my last video, I talked about how much fun it was to use the Mirai Pulse, but there's only one problem. It costs real money, and it'll stay that way until 4.0, unless there's an Alpha 325. And if you're allergic to giving money to Star Citizen, well, you're probably not watching this video. But if you're allergic to giving more money to Star Citizen, you might want to look for alternatives. The Dragonfly is one option, but it's the biggest hover vehicle, which would make it difficult to fit in a lot of ships. The hoverquad has no weapons, so that leaves the AOP-1 Nox as the closest alternative to the Pulse. The Nox can be bought from Astro Armada for around 700k AWAC, but if that's too rich for your blood, you can rent it from every city except Hurston. That being said, the Nox is still larger than the Pulse in every way, so I don't think you'll be able to stuff it in the Mustang's cargo bay anytime soon. But it'll still be able to fit in ships as small as the Avenger Titan. The Nox's longer tip makes it harder to use elevators while on the bike, which also means it won't be fitting in any elevators, so it'll be a lot harder to use it for Orison missions. But thankfully, you can still use it for bunkers. It can drive through bunker doors, and for the elevators, you just have to angle to the side to place yourself closer to the elevator buttons to use them. The one advantage the Nox has over the Pulse is that it has two guns and they're gimbaled. And unlike the Pulse, you can swap them out for a different size 1 weapon of your choosing. Now let's look at some of the stats. According to the wiki, both the Pulse and Nox have the same max speed of 550 meters per second, which doesn't matter right now because neither of them can reach it currently, but the Nox has a slightly faster SCM or Space Combat Maneuvering speed of 225 meters per second versus the Pulse's 208 meters per second. What's interesting is that even the racing variant of the Pulse LX, is still slower than the Nox, as it only goes up to 220. So it seems like the Nox has an edge over the Pulse in terms of speed. But I'm not a racer. There could be other things that give the Pulse an edge over the Nox. The Pulse has more storage capacity than the Nox, which is surprising given that it's much smaller than the Nox. Despite its larger size, it can still do AI piracy as well as the Pulse, and I think this probably applies to other hover vehicles as well. As for how lucrative pirating bounties can be, well, that'll be for a separate video that should be coming soon, so subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on that video. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button as well. And if you want to know how to pirate AI bounties, then I highly recommend you watch this video right here.